Welcome to the Sports Machine with Brian and Dean. Great show lined up for today. Thursday, November 19th. Recording in Dallas, Texas. Kevin McHale goes down. If I remember correctly, we did say yesterday that his job was in trouble.
Because of who?
We'll get into that. Top 5 NBA players in the league right now. Give you our top 5. NFL, we're going to see a QB change here in the next few years. Thursday night football preview. And a little college football. Did Bielema actually say something smart? It's a shocker to me. He's usually a contestant on the Really Though segment, which we also have coming.
Right.
I guess we got to get started with Kevin McHale. He goes down. We called it.
You know what's so surprising about this issue to me is the fact that I still feel like this was I don't think it was necessary. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Kevin McHale is a great coach. He's a Hall of Fame coach at that. You know, he's a Hall of Fame player, great coach. If you have a young big man, I think you would want Kevin McHale coaching your young player like Anthony Davis. But unfortunately for him, you know, you look at James Harden and the way he plays ball, all offense, no defense. Team doesn't like him very much, according to reports made by ESPN. James Harden's personality tends to run a lot of his teammates the wrong way. So you factor that in, and then Dwight Howard. I mean, let's be for real. Dwight Howard haven't been Superman Dwight Howard since he left Orlando. He was squat in LA. He's been squat since he's got to Houston. I mean, Houston can't catch a break with a big man. I mean, they had Yao Ming for a minute, but eventually Yao Ming injuries took its toll on him. Dwight Howard, every time you turn around, he's injured. Once again, back injuries will always linger. And I hate that for Kevin McHale because honestly, I like him. I like him as a coach.
I think he's an alright coach. I don't think he's the reason the Rockets are struggling, personally. I would like to remind people, if you look at the Rockets roster, besides James Harden and Trevor Ariza, with the way Dwight Howard's been playing, I'll throw him in there. Mm-hmm. Those three are the only ones I can really see starting on other teams. Say what you want about. I like Jason Terry is a quality player.
Right. Would be much better served as somebody's sixth man.
Yes.
I can understand that. Let's
Same.
not forget he is a former Sixth Man of the Year award winner, right?
Yes.
With the Dallas Mavericks.
I like Ty Lawson.
Just think about the report where Ty Lawson said he wouldn't mind coming off the bench.
I mean, he comes off the bench now.
Yeah.
But he has struggled this year. I just looked at the Rockets lineup, and I'm not shocked that they lose games.
Especially when your all-star guard doesn't want to play defense at all. Every time you bring up Houston, I'm going to bring up James Harden in his defense. I'm going to nail him on it every single time. Once again, he's a rock for Khloe Kardashian, right?
Oh.
Should have been a rock for the Houston Rockets. I'm going to smash him every time. I'm going to let him have it, that old dirty beard.
That was yesterday. You got on him enough yesterday. I don't think his defense is bad.
It's horrible. It's putrid, dude. Like, you a basketball guy. I honestly feel, and I'm almost willing to put some money on it. Not you. I know your brother could take James Harden.
No.
Richard Franklin could take. I know he's listening. Richard Franklin, hit us up. You can take James Harden. Go ahead, get out there, show him something. Show him some moves, man.
No. You know how tall James Harden is?
He's every bit about 6'7".
He's 6'5".
Oh, well, yeah. 6'5".
6'5".
Okay. So, I mean, he's a nice wingspan, but the way he played deep. Now, this is what I'm saying. The way this guy tries to play defense is like no different from somebody in college, a freshman in college trying to play defense who don't know any better.
I know some freshmen in college. They can play some good defense.
Yes, because they put forth. Guess what? Okay, then there it is, right there. You can take them and put them in the spot and say, "Hey, if your offensive game, we'll work on that, but just play the best defense you can." They'll go out there and they'll play the best defense you can. Man, you look at James Harden, you say, "Hey, man, we're gonna need you to D up, play a little bit better on the defensive end." He look at you like you speaking another language, man.
He drops 40 points. He dropped 45 points last night.
He dropped 45 points last night, right?
Yeah.
I wonder how many points did he give up, though? How many points did his man score, though? Because they won it in overtime. It took overtime.
I'm not exactly sure who he guarded. I'm assuming they put him on the worst offensive threat on Portland.
But then our worst offensive threat probably had at least 10 points.
Oh, he had. I'm guessing he guarded him. He knew I did not watch the game. Because I don't think they. I hope the Rockets didn't have him on McCollum or Lillard because he can't handle neither one of them.
Which will probably explain why. Which will probably explain why they had to go into overtime to win this game. And then he had nerve enough to come out and say that a change was needed. Sir, you need to change your defensive tactics. Change it. Like, seriously, man, you are a...
He's not the first player to have defensive struggles.
Man.
Remember, Steve Nash wasn't just necessarily the greatest defensive threat.
He wasn't the greatest, but at the same time, he put forth a better effort than James Harden. It's at times, man, I've seen where James Harden just... The moment a dude get behind him, gets by him, it's like, dude, you could have either fouled or at least try to make the block shot from behind or something, man. At least look like you want to play defense. This dude on the defense end don't look like he want to play any kind of defense. He wants no part of defense. He should just stay on the other end and let the team be, down a man down there, 5-4, like 5-on-4 or something down there, just passing the ball because that's all he wants to play his offense. Be honest with you, I'm willing to call him a selfish player.
He had 5 steals last night, by the way.
Wow. When was the last time he had 5 steals, I wonder? I'm ready to type it and check it out.
I'll look. Just keep talking.
Because I'm serious. When you think about it, he plays defense about as often as you see a blue moon.
I think
He plays defense about as much as you see a full moon.
You're trashing a little hard.
I am. I'm going to continue to, man. He shaved that old McNasty off his face. Ladies, let me ask you a question. If there's any ladies out there listening, what do you do with a man whose beard is just that out of there? It's out of control. It's out of there, man. This is a family show, so I can't say. I won't go as far as I wanted to go. But I don't care how much money he make. This dude show up at my house trying to date my daughter with that grossness on his face, man. I'm pulling my shotgun. I'm letting it rain out. I'm going to let him have it. Do you hear me? I will let James Harden have it at the doorstep.
I'm about to shock you with some stats. James Harden is 11th in the league in steals per game.
Right now?
Yeah.
No.
That's ahead of Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Smart, LeBron James, Jimmy Butler, DeMar Carroll.
He's all right now.
I would like to also mention that steals does not necessarily mean you play defense.
Right. He played a passing lane or somebody turned the ball over and just so happened to roll his way.
Because on-ball defense is a little different.
Yeah. It's out of there. Probably last player in the league. Probably number 3,000. And I'm just, once again, being a fan and just shooting out.
James Harden also plays the most minutes per game.
It's easy for somebody to play the most minutes per game when they're not playing on the other end. I'm so serious, man. Like, if you don't play defense on the other end, yeah, you can play the full 40-something minutes. But then again, this is the NBA, and Should expect this out of these guys. These are professional athletes. These guys are trained to go out there and do this.
I remember when Monte Ellis played every single minute of every game. It seemed like.
Mm-hmm. It was after balling.
In Golden State, where he just played every single minute.
And they had no choice. That's when they was putrid. This was after Donnie Nelson left, and whatever team he had created was done.
Coming up on the Sports Machine, would James Harden be on one of our top 5 NBA players right now? Probably guessing no by what I just got out of the dude across the room.
Nope.
Up next, right here on the Sports Machine. Welcome to the Sports Machine. This is Brian Franklin with your daily Sports Machine sports ticker. In Major League Baseball yesterday, the Cy Young Award winners were announced. For the National League, the winner is Cubs pitcher Jake Arrieta. And for the American League, the winner is Astros pitcher Dallas Keuchel. And the NFL and MRI has revealed that Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Sam Bradford has a separated shoulder in addition to a concussion that occurred in Sunday's loss to the Dolphins. In the NBA yesterday, the Houston Rockets decided to fire coach Kevin McHale hours after firing the Rockets won an overtime game against the Trailblazers 108-103. For the other scores, the Mavericks rallied to beat the Celtics 106-102. The Nets lost to the Hornets 116-111. In an overtime game, the Magic got a close win against the Timberwolves 104-101. Philadelphia lost again, this time to the Pacers 112-85. The Hawks beat the Kings 103-97. Russell Westbrook scored 43 points in a Thunder win over the Pelicans 110-103. The Spurs took out the Nuggets 109-98. The Jazz won a defensive battle against the Raptors 93-89, and the Bulls went on the road and came away with a win against the Suns 103-97. Just went over Kevin McHale being fired. Man across the room thinks it's because of James Harden's defense.
Without question, it's because of his defense, and it's because of the fact that Dwight Howard hasn't been what you expect Dwight Howard to be. They were inconsistent team. An inconsistent team. Go on a 4-game win streak, then lose 3. Win 2, then lose 4. And got him fired. No reason why a coach who got his team into the second round of playoffs turn around and get fired. Then again, you know what? I can't really even say that because New Orleans fired a coach who then got them to the first round of the playoffs last year. Was in a lot of those games last year, as a matter of fact, when they played Golden State in that first round. Was in some games they could have won. Could have took it to 7 games, but they didn't. So, if ifs was fifths, you know what they say. We all be drunk.
Moving on from Kevin McHale being fired. Top 5 NBA players right now. Yesterday, we got into a little argument over the top 5 point guards. And I decided just to say, go ahead. Let's do top 5 NBA players that are right now.
Right. Drop your top 5.
Top 5. Number 1, I have Stephen Curry.
I agree.
The only reason I have Stephen Curry ahead of LeBron James is because Stephen Curry is going to have more of a complete season.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to limit LeBron's minutes at some point. It only makes sense. At number 2, I do have LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
3, Kevin Durant. I think the top 3 for most people is around the same. Maybe some people don't have Kevin Durant up there. I do. Number 4, I have Kawhi Leonard. Number 5, I have Paul George.
All right. Well, I base my top 5 off of, like my top 5 starting lineup of guys who I would want to start playing on my team, that I would want to be on the court for me. Of course, like I said, number 1, never go wrong with Stephen Curry. Once again, I think he has a more all-around game than LeBron James. But most importantly, I don't think he'll take the same damage that LeBron James takes because he doesn't go to the hole as often as LeBron James do. Doesn't take the shots that LeBron James has taken. And LeBron James has done a great job of not being injured like a few other players out there. Like, he's done a great job of taking care of his body. Except for the one series, that one season where he had cramps and real bad cramps off in the San Antonio series that he's back in Miami. I got, once again, I got Stephen Curry 1 coming in with LeBron James at 2, Kevin Durant at 3, Kobe Bryant.
Oh, wow.
4. Number 5 for me, starting at a center, Tim Duncan. Yes.
I don't even know why I'm playing the bomb sound right now. I'm just confused.
I don't understand.
Go ahead.
Like,
Shoot it down. Fire it
shoot
away.
it down.
Go
I said
ahead.
right now.
Yeah, I
I
understand.
said top 5 players in the league right now.
But see, to
Not
me,
5
like,
years ago.
yeah. But see, that, like, I look at everything. I looked at accomplishments as well. You know what I'm saying? And so to me, like, those 5 guys that I named have accomplished something. Except for maybe if you want to go in on you know,
Durant probably,
Right.
I guess, would be the least accomplished out of the list you
right.
listed.
But even then, it's like he got to an NBA Finals and then and just the team that was actually a more well-rounded team wound up losing to a team that was, you know, had better stars that had already been in that position before. You know, so once again, I still think Kevin Durant is a guy who, to be feared. He's a doggone assassin, tall enough to play 4, can play all the way up to the 2 spot. I mean, Kobe Bryant, enough said.
Can't just say enough said.
Enough said.
Nah, it's not. I want a full explanation besides the fact that he's won championships in the past.
The fact of the matter is that
I don't even
he's
think
going to bring that, like one thing Kobe Bryant said is some people are afraid to appeal to the darker side, their darker nature. I think having Kobe Bryant around a Kevin Durant, even LeBron James, even Stephen Curry to an extent, you could say, man, he's a mean dude, just not the way most people would see it. Like Chris Carter said on the show on Mike and Mike this morning, you know, when they was talking about the whole Cam Newton deal. Anyway, he said, man, Stephen Curry, he does the same thing but in a different way. This dude shoots a shot and walks away before it even hits the net. Before it ain't hit the rim or nowhere near, but he walks away like it's good. And crowd goes nuts, so he knows it's good. You get what I'm saying? Like, that right there is just dirty. Like, that's just dirty to the point where the guy who's playing him is looking like, what else do I have to do? I mean, I feel like I have to tie. Even if I was to tie one arm around his back, he could still probably make it from half court. Silly.
I'm trying to figure out what this has to do with Kobe Bryant being in your top 5.
The reason why I got Kobe, okay, you're right. I rambled a bit. The reason why I have Kobe Bryant in my top 5 is because I like his leadership. I like what he brings. I like the fact that he can motivate a team of players like that into not necessarily being the good guys, not being afraid to be the bad guys. He is the complete general. He's that general. He's that leader. He could be that outspoken guy that Tim Duncan wouldn't be.
I don't even think he's probably a top 5 shooting guard right now. So
Okay. Shoot some more. Who else you want to shoot down on that?
I mean, Tim Duncan's not old enough. I don't even need to say anything. I think everyone's gonna give you enough for that.
Yeah, they're gonna give me enough for Tim Duncan, but at the same time, he's a Hall of Famer. Look at what he's done.
I said right now.
I understand. And to me, right now, he's still in the top. He's still a top guy to me. He's a top 5 guy to me. I know Drummond. I actually struggled a bit because I was ready to pick Drummond, but I was like, look, Drummond, this is what Drummond has just started doing. Tim Duncan has been this. He's been it.
He wouldn't be in my top 5 for centers either. So
Right. So it's like, like I said before, I base my team off of, I base my top 5 players off of positions that I would have them playing if they was on my team, if I would put this team out on the court. Once again,
I would still take Vaughn, even without a center.
You
I
would?
just throw LeBron James on Tim Duncan. I'll be all right.
And I throw the ball in the hole all day long. All day long.
Play team defense. I think it'd work out.
Boy. All right, play team defense. and I'm gonna leave Curry on the outside from time to
I'm
time.
gonna have Curry on Curry, so it's gonna be all right.
He say Curry on Curry. You know what? Then we gonna see some broke ankles. Some guys that's gonna get hurt. What you gonna do? Durant on
I think
Durant?
you forgot. I have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George,
That's good.
the best on-ball defenders in the league right now.
That's good. That's good for them.
That's
I got
good
Kobe.
for them.
I got Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant's
I got
gonna
the
take
Mamba.
30 shots and make 10 of them.
I got the Mamba. The Mamba in his prime, the Mamba even
right now.
Right now, the Mamba right now would give him the blues. I don't care what anybody say. Bump shoulder now, give him the blues. Shoot me down, say what you want to say, feel how you want to feel. That's the way I feel.
Say something else. Say
The
something
Mamba
else.
take Pinky to hole too right now.
Mamba ain't taking anybody to the hole. I'm a Kobe Bryant fan.
Yeah, you big time Kobe Bryant fan.
I'm the one that says he's close to Jordan. Still number 2 greatest all time in my opinion. In his prime. I'm talking about right now. He's not taking on anybody on the list.
If he wasn't hurt, he would.
He would not.
He would.
I don't believe so.
I'm almost 1,000% sure he would take him on.
He would take him on and lose.
I don't think so, man. I honestly think he can still put up at least 20 points on Kawhi. I still think he could put up 20 points on Paul George on PG-13, man. Mark me down, book it. It's recorded. It's going out to the masses of what I just said. I still think so.
Could he? Yes. Would he do it consistently? No. He might be able to pull it out one game out.
In the best out of 7.
Best out of 7, he'd do it one of those 7 times. One of those games out of 7, he would win because he got hot. Other 6 games, he would get.
I don't think they even ready. I don't think neither one of those guys is ready for Kobe Bryant's post moves, what he could do in the post.
Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are plenty ready.
I don't think so. They haven't seen the shimmies and the shakes that he's learned from Hakeem.
Kawhi Leonard has guarded Kobe Bryant before. He's the one that was in charge of guarding LeBron James.
It was before he was known. It was before he was known. And it
was before he was known, but he did a good job. He did a great job against LeBron James.
Wait a second now. We're not putting LeBron James and Kobe Bryant in the same boat, are we? Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, man. 1-on-1, who you picking, Kobe Bryant or LeBron James in 1-on-1?
Kobe Bryant.
Okay, so Kobe Bryant moved.
You just said that Kobe Bryant would just dominate Kawhi Leonard. Like, if
though,
Kawhi Leonard did a good job against LeBron James, it's not like Kobe Bryant's that much better than LeBron
What
James.
I'm saying
It'd still
is,
be close.
What I'm saying is, Kobe Bryant, regardless of who's defending him, will get his shot, will get his points.
And right
regardless.
now, he would miss most of them.
Yeah,
it's been
coming out
watch
from
this season.
Yeah, right. I've seen him this season. Like, he doesn't look the same, but I still think he's a top 5 player.
I think we're just gonna have to disagree on that because
I'm not like I'm staying fast on my point. I'm staying fast on my team will beat your team. Period.
It's because you built the team. I just listed the top 5. If I exchange one of these for a center, it's over. Just one of them.
If you could exchange one of them real quick for a center,
I'd probably.
What center would you grab?
I don't know. Like, I don't want to cheat because I feel like if I just picked it to go against your team, it would be cheating. So I would, if I didn't know we were matching up, I would take probably Greg Monroe.
Duncan a hat. Okay.
That's why I said I would be cheating. If I knew I was going against Duncan, I would just take Andre Drummond and say just guard him all day. Or maybe even Hassan Whiteside. Just play defense all day. Just play defense. You don't even have to worry about getting the ball because you're not going to get it anyway.
I hope we got to bring this back one day. One day we're going to do a draft. My team versus your team.
You don't want those problems.
Yes, I do want those problems. I welcome them. As a
You
matter
just
of fact.
listed Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant as a top 5 player right now.
That's what I think, man. That's how I feel.
That's why I said you don't need those problems. You need to accept this loss.
No, thank you. I'm not losing. I'm winning. You got the gambling problem.
Going from the NBA
I
to
got
the
you,
NFL. I'm winning. I want feedback from people. I want feedback because I know I won that. That's not even close.
Your defense is looking like James Harden over there.
My defense had Kawhi Leonard and Paul George on it. It was looking real strong.
Oh, man.
We just discussed the changing in the NBA with Kobe Bryant and Tim Duncan, I thought, but apparently they're still top 5 players. So let's go with the NFL. We had a discussion pre-show.
Right.
What is the NFL going to look like when the big three quarterbacks that have held down the NFL for years right now, the top three, Breeze, Manning, and Tom Brady.
Right.
And then, of course, you have the miscellaneous ones that are around them.
Right.
What happens when they all retire? What is the NFL going to look like?
Right.
What kind of quarterbacks? So, basically, you asked me this question. I just started listing quarterbacks that are going to be taking over the league. You got Cam Newton right now doing what he's doing.
Most definitely. Like, I guess he would, even though he hasn't won a title yet, because I do feel like he's going to win a Super Bowl with the Carolina Panthers. Now, whether it be this year or years to come, I still think he's going to win one. Where would you put Russell Wilson on that list as a guy who's already had one? Should have two.
You can't say he should have had two because he's the one that threw the interception.
He shouldn't have. Yep. If this was fifth, we'd all be drunk. Great job.
I was even just say if he was the running back, if he was Marshawn Lynch, you said should have had two. I would have been like, you know what, you're probably right. But he's the one that threw the interception, so he doesn't get a pass. I don't care what the play call was. You threw it. I'm actually down on Russell Wilson. I don't like Russell Wilson that much. I think he's kind of overrated.
Do you not like it? You don't like his game at all? You don't like the fact that he's not. Right now, he's the most sacked quarterback. So I mean,
I would like to blame that on the offensive line, but for the amount of time he runs around, Michael Vick had the same problem. Ben Roethlisberger has that problem. It's like you just hold on to the ball way too long, and it doesn't help that he doesn't have great weapons around him. Besides,
so I'm guessing you have him behind Cam Newton then.
Yes.
Way behind. From looks on your face, the way he was like, yo, he's way back.
I got other quarterbacks that are going to be coming in that era ahead of him.
All right.
Like I'd take Andy Dalton ahead of Russell Wilson.
I like what Andy Dalton doing right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and jump on that boat of people who say, man, he got to show me something else up in the playoffs. He's got to show something else, which really sucks because I'm a Cowboy I'm a huge Cowboy fan, and I've knocked a lot. I tend to get a little bit upset when people tend to knock Romo, but then it's like, he doesn't have the hardware to show anything. He only has one playoff win, so I can understand when people critique him about that, but I would still take Russell Wilson over what he has done over what Andy Dalton has done.
I just don't think Andy Dalton's had the defense nor the running game Russell Wilson has had. But on the other side, Russell Wilson hasn't necessarily had A.J. Green.
Thank you.
But besides A.J. Green, Andy Dalton hasn't had much either.
Right.
Until this year where Mohamed Sanu and Marvin Jones have come to life.
Neither does he have a Tyler Eifert.
He has Jimmy Graham. I don't know what Jimmy Graham turned into. That's on the offense coordinator and Russell Wilson.
Right.
I'm not taking that excuse. I'm not taking that
But
excuse.
they just got him, though. They got him post Super Bowl.
What about Cincinnati? Eifert was injured last year, so you could say the same thing about Andy Dalton.
Right. I ain't
just got him.
Right. Just got him back. But they knew they was getting back. They didn't know they was getting a Jimmy Graham until after the fact.
They've had him for half a season. They should have figured it out by now. Another interesting. A lot of these quarterbacks are yet to be proven because they're so young.
Right.
I'll put Derek Carr up there.
I like Derek Carr's game. Better than you think he's better than Teddy Bridgewater?
No, I don't think he's better than Teddy Bridgewater.
You don't think so?
The reason I don't think he's better than Teddy Bridgewater is because Teddy Bridgewater does have Amari Cooper and Michael Crabtree.
Right.
That's the only reason. Derek Carr is kind of playing an offense right now that's really suited for his abilities, which you can't blame Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, he has Adrian Peterson, so he doesn't get to throw the ball all day.
Yeah.
They've just
Should
told
actually
him,
be glad that he doesn't have to.
It's like he just don't throw the interceptions, you'll win the game.
Right.
So he plays according to that. But I think if they let him open it up, I think he could do it.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I kind of wonder about his accuracy as a quarterback. Like, once again, I've only seen just a few of his games. And if you listen to the show, once again, they're leading their division right now. They're a sneaky 7-2 team.
Him and Derek Carr actually have the same completion percentage,
Nice.
but the difference in attempts is pretty big.
Yeah.
Person we left out, kind of stupidly, Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck. Now that's a head scratcher right there because you think about what he has done, and you're like, well, he's only been 11-5 his whole career. Like, he's done got each year that he's been in the league, his team has gone further into the playoffs. But then you go and look at his stats off in the playoffs. His touchdown to interception ratio is horrible.
I mean,
He turns the ball over. Once again, what we just said about Teddy Bridgewater and a couple of these other guys. For Andrew Luck to have seen the playoffs as much as he's turned the ball over incredibly too much, which you can argue has cost his team a lot of those games cost them a lot of those games that they played, especially this season here alone. Injured or not.
I agree.
Gunslinger mentality gets you in trouble sometimes.
But I would take Andrew Luck over the Derek Carr and Teddy Bridgewater. Because they haven't been in the playoffs either, so we don't know how they're going to perform in there.
Right. I could understand that, but I kind of wonder if you can change that about Andrew Luck, though. If you could tell him, just take what the defense is giving you.
No, you're not changing that.
Exactly. So, therefore, it's like
Andrew Luck will mess around and become the next Brett Favre. All the great things Brett Favre did.
He can get you into a game and also throw you out of it. Yep.
That's what it looks like to me.
Right. I can't argue with that. Like I said, it's a new age gunslinger, man.
At least it appears that he can monitor it a little bit. There've been worse out there at throwing interceptions.
Where do you have Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston on the list?
I was questioning whether I was going to bring him up or not because they're just rookies.
Right.
I like what I see out of Jameis Winston for sure.
Right.
He's done nothing but get better. After the 7 interceptions at the beginning of the season, he's really slowed down a lot.
Right. I think he hasn't, prior to the Dallas game, he had 0 interceptions with 4 to 6 touchdowns in the last 3 or 4 games they had played. And even the 2 interceptions that he did throw, it wound up being because he threw the ball too high. Tip balls wound up leading into interceptions on the defensive side.
I like Marcus Mariota. I had questions about him before he came to the draft, so I think I'm kind of biased. I was kind of down on the fact that everyone was high on him. Mm-hmm. He's kind of a check down guy.
What bothers me now about his progression is I think they've just set him back another full year after firing Ken Whisenhunt, because I think Ken Whisenhunt is a great offensive coach, and he also played to the talent that his quarterback had. He ran him on a couple of bootlegs, and he kept the pocket on the move at times, and he allowed him to make the shorter throws, the easier throws to make, instead of trying to make Mariota off into something else. You get what I'm saying? Trying to make him come out as this drop back quarterback right off the back, like he's always played in a pro style offense or something like that. He played to what he could do right now. So, I guess I still take Winston over Mariota for that reason, because like you said before, Jameis Winston, he's learning, playing a full pro style, playing a full offense.
Coming up next, Thursday Night Football preview. Marcus Mariota is involved, and we didn't even mention Blake Bortles. Up next, right here on the Sports Exchange.
Hi, I'm Dwayne Dean, and this is your Sports Machine News Update. Former NFL quarterback Doug Flutie's parents both passed away within an hour of each other on Wednesday after being married for 56 years. Flutie said his father, Dick, had been ill and died of a heart attack in the hospital less than an hour later Dick Flutie's wife, Joan, suddenly had a heart attack and also passed away. TCU's season has taken a sharp turn in the wrong direction, and things aren't about to get any better. Coach Gary Patterson broke the news that quarterback Trayvon Boykin is quote-unquote a maybe against the Oklahoma Sooners, and star receiver Josh Doctson is out for the rest of the season. There aren't many people outside of Dallas Cowboys Valley Ranch facility willing to defend alleged woman beater Greg Hardy these days, but former New York Giants linebacker Lawrence Taylor has never been one to shy away from controversy. Taylor said he's happy the Cowboys have given Greg Hardy another shot, and also took Hardy's side on the issue of his guilt or innocence. Jake Arrieta has won the 2015 National League Cy Young Award, beating out fellow incredible finalists Zach Greinke and Clayton Kershaw of the Dodgers in one of the greatest Cy Young fields we've ever seen. Arrieta was 22-6 this year with a 1.77 ERA, .87 WHIP, 236 strikeouts against 46 unintentional walks in 229 innings this season. This is your Sports Machine News Update. I am Dwaylen Dean, Sports Machine.
Sports Machine with Brian and Dean went over Kevin McHale getting fired. James Harden dispute on his defensive ability. Top 5 NBA players in the league right now. And somehow it ended up with 2 people that are on the AARP list. NFL QB change.
Steady shooting the shots. Look at you, boy.
It's funny.
Quick draw McGee. Quick draw over there.
Got him. Let's get into the Thursday night preview. Tennessee Titans going to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars. Now this has to be, or is going to be, the worst rated Thursday night game, correct?
It seems that way. Why I say that is because Jacksonville at 3-6
It's still in the running.
Thank you. Exactly. So it's like if you're Tennessee, you looking to play small. It's like you're 2-7. You're mathematically out in your division. So it's like, well, if Jacksonville still feel like they have hope, let's dash their hopes. So it's like, well, hey, you know what they say about misery? Love some company. And right now, Tennessee is looking to play old lady misery.
Jaguars are used to playing that role, so it's weird for them to be on the other side.
Exactly. Getting a taste of their own medicine, possibly. I'm actually picking Jacksonville to win this game.
Oh, I am too. I like the wide receiver core.
Right.
I don't know much else about the Jaguars besides Blake Bortles and their wide receiver core because I know they put up fantasy points.
I know they got your boy Denard Robinson, but then again, he hasn't played much this season, so.
Well, Michigan homer, you gonna do?
I do like Dexter McCluster from Tennessee, though. I liked him when he was in Kansas City.
I liked when he was at Ole Miss.
Right. Oh, yeah. He was that dude at Ole Miss, man.
I feel like he never gets a fair shot. He puts up better stats than their other running backs when he runs the ball.
Right.
But they don't ever give him to the ball. Give him
Right.
the ball.
Underrated running back, would you say? I mean, they've had him a receiver when he was in Kansas City.
He's very underrated. Just give him the... I don't understand this about the NFL. You'll have a playmaker who can do things with the football, but yet you will refuse to give him the ball based on what seems like perception.
Right.
The Dallas Cowboys do this because every time I see Lucky Whitehead get the ball, he does something with it. He's taking kicks back for a touchdown. I've seen him do a bubble screen and turn it into 20 yards reverses for, and they won't find a way to get him the ball. And I feel like that's the same thing that happens to Dexter McCluster.
No more jet sweeps or anything. Just, hey, he's a diversion guy. Well, but then again, I mean, we don't know what else could have happened with this offense had they not fired one of the best offensive minds in the NFL, Ken Whisenhunt. As far as my Dallas Cowboys go, it's a vanilla offense without Tony Romo. It's a vanilla offense, period.
It's a vanilla offense with Tony Romo.
Right. It's a vanilla offense.
They can just make it work because Tony Romo makes it work.
Exactly. And he makes plays with that vanilla offense. He actually puts a little bit more flavor off into it. And people are starting to realize that now. Back to the Thursday night game, though. Excuse me. You got Jacksonville averaging about 21 a little over 21 points a game, as well as you got Tennessee averaging a little over 18 points a game. They're both allowing over 21 points a game. Total yards, you're looking at Jacksonville averaging about 360. Tennessee is averaging about 340. And rushing yards, neither one of them is averaging over 100 yards rushing this year, but they're very close. Tennessee's at 97 yards a game. Jacksonville is at 96. As far as passing yards go, they're about 10, 20 yards difference. One is at 264, one is at 246. And once again, with the way this team defenses play, I actually thought Jacksonville's defense was going to be a bit better. But after seeing that they're allowing almost 28 points a game, it's like, well, no wonder you guys are sitting back at 3-6, you know. But then again, I think I'm a little bit disappointed with what Julian Thomas has been with this team. But once again, you can say the same thing, you know, when you have Peyton Manning as your quarterback, last year's Peyton Manning as your quarterback, well, hey, you can build up some stats. Just ask Eric Decker.
Not with this year's Peyton Manning.
No.
Not a stat builder.
No, he's not. No. And if you're Vernon Davis, you're a little bit upset because you thought you was going to be able to.
Thought you snuck yourself out of a bad situation.
Right.
Snuck yourself right into another one. But at least you're winning.
Exactly. At least you have a playoff. At least you are leading a division and looking to host a playoff game, at least as of right now.
Earlier in the show, we spoke of the NFL quarterback changes. We mentioned Mariota, but we didn't mention Blake Bortles. And I think Blake Bortles is, I'm not going to say underrated, because he gets some props every once in a while. He has a gunslinger mentality as well.
Right.
He will throw into some precarious situations, but he will also make plays.
Right.
He's made very good use of the wide receivers in Jacksonville. Both of them, Hearns and Robinson, both put up numbers.
Right. And I think that's the problem. That's probably one of the problems as far as fantasy owners go, is like, who's going to be his guy today? I mean, when you look at Carr over there in Oakland, for instance, you kind of know that since him and Amari Cooper has done built that trust, that Amari Cooper is his go-to guy, even though they do have Michael Crabtree and a few other guys on that team. You know Amari Cooper is going to be that guy. As far as Jacksonville go, you really don't know whether it's going to be, you know, Hearns or the next guy. You know what I'm saying? Hearns or Robinson. You don't know which one is going to have that day. I guess, which is why, if you kind of want it that way, because you can't really lock down either guy. If you lock down one guy, he just go to the next guy. When y'all try to lock down this guy, he probably go to the other guy. Only knock on that is, once again, I feel like, you know, they've gotten him some decent weapons. Like the two young receivers, they're coming up. They got him a good young tight end, but right now you can argue with his injury problems. Only next thing you could kind of look at is T.J. Yeldon. I think he's more of a complimentary running back.
That's definitely what it seems like.
You know, I don't think he's like Steven Jackson probably would have helped him out a bit, in my opinion, as far as a change of pace running back. You got the bigger back in Steven Jackson to kind of come in the late games to kind of be a bit of a bruiser. Bring back Yeldon in as that shifty, quicker back. Change the pace up a bit. It would help them out a lot. It always helps a young quarterback out when you're able to run the football.
Who you got winning the game?
I have Jacksonville winning the game 21-17. 21-17.
All right. I have Jacksonville as well. 28-14. Yeah.
So they
I just feel like
actually put up some points.
I just feel like Thursday night games, the home team has more of an advantage.
Right.
Less travel, plus on a short week.
Right.
I give the home team a little bit of an advantage.
Do you care for Thursday night football very much?
No.
Neither do I.
I mean, I don't get to watch it, so.
Only on Thanksgiving.
Because everyone has the day off.
Exactly.
Switching to college. Arkansas head coach Brett Bielema, known in the media a lot, says a lot of stuff. He actually said something kind of smart. You know, in college basketball, they have the challenges, the ACC versus the Big Ten, Big 12 versus the SEC. Well, Brett Bielema says, why don't you have a Big Ten versus SEC challenge in football? First thing I thought of, because I don't take everything so serious, is why don't you want to play the Big 12? Play Texas Tech again. It's really interesting.
Right.
I'd like to see you and the head coach battle it out. But he actually does raise a good point. Is it time for these conferences to start top teams and start playing each other?
I believe, like, I'm with you, and I'm with head coach over there, mainly because of the fact that it should have been this way
from the start.
Exactly. Like, even back when they had the BCS rankings, I think that would have helped more teams out than, hey, let's give the coaches the schedule and let them pick their non-conference schedule. What are you doing? Like, what coach would not want to at least try to give their team potentially, I'm doing my quote fingers here, like a break style game by going to go play a Rice or a UTEP or...
Hey, don't say that. Nick Saban will get on you. If you haven't seen the Nick Saban video, I can't play the video because it has some profanity in it.
But he goes left.
It was the greatest thing I watched today. By far. Not even close. Nick Saban going off about how cupcake schools are not cupcake schools.
Yeah.
Not break week.
Right.
Georgia Southern.
But then again, it depends on how you look at it too, because some of these guys are, like you said, it's all about the money to some of those programs. Some of these guys get paid $1 million just to go and play this small, like a small team gets paid $1 million to their program to come play this big powerhouse school, to basically just get demolished.
Every once in a while, one of those small schools wins.
Yeah, every once in a while. But how often do you see the Appalachian States comes up and whoops up on the old team like that?
Not very often. I mean,
like
this year it happened.
How often do you see the Richmond Spiders just handle up on a Ohio State or something? Now, this is hypothetically speaking.
I like the Richmond Spiders uniforms.
Yeah, they're clean. The helmets is clean too. I'm a Spider-Man fan. You know what I'm saying? They got the Spider-Man helmet, for crying out loud. I think it's fresh too. Don't mean, they ain't gonna be so fresh when they get off the field. The boys going home hurting. They gonna be pockets. They gonna be a walking bruise.
And they don't get paid for any of that because the NCAA will not allow it.
Because
how do you get paid another $1 million from another school to play them and the players don't even get involved?
Right.
They should strike. That's what they should do.
That's how it starts.
The players should strike. Like in games like that, because it's hard to do the whole jersey thing and strike because of that. But it's easy to say it then. This school paid us $1 million to play them, but we're not getting anything from it.
Right. The program is going to get something from it. I mean, potentially some more uniforms and a little more dough for this and a little more dough for that. But like you said, they finna go out there and get mollywopped. I mean, cold cocked in the worst way. And like Illinois. Come on, Illinois. I'm looking at our banners over here, and I'm just naming a few teams, Iowa State has actually had its moments, but that's actually a Big 12 conference team. So, but I would like to see the Pac-12 and the Big 12 go at it.
They have to set up some type of system where it would rotate.
Right.
I believe in college basketball, it's not that big of a deal to rotate.
Right.
Because a lot of teams end up playing each other anyway, and so many teams get into the playoff.
And it's smart. It's smart. Just like you said, this week we saw a lot of top teams play each other this week, early in the season.
In football,
Kentucky and Duke. Like, who knew you'd see a game like that this early?
In college basketball, happens all the time.
Right.
Shout out to Kentucky, who always re-up some player, by the way.
Right. I saw that.
So they always re-up on players. Mm-hmm. I'm not suggesting that there's any
foul play. Is everybody just
Calipari has 0 history with this issue. Don't worry about Memphis.
Sure, it wasn't no.
He was my number one, but you ain't Derrick Rose. College football really does need to get on this.
I think it would be great for him. I mean, once upon a time during the BCS, you had Texas, Ohio State. This is back when they had Vince Young. I remember Texas went into Ohio State, lost that game, but then the next season, Ohio State came down to Texas, and Texas got the win, which was a great game.
See, those were great games.
Right.
And each one, big decisions.
Exactly. It actually impacted. I mean, it had a good impact on the BCS at the time. You know, because like I said before, they factored the strength of schedule and who you played and how you lost, and they factored all that type of stuff in. Now, I'm no in way, shape, form, or fashion wishing the BCS to come back, but, you know, like you said before, I've never been a fan of the fact that you're going to give a fellow head coach their schedule to pick. I think the NCAA should be in charge of all of that. If not the NCAA, the College Football Playoff Committee. If you're going to judge teams by the strength of schedule, all right then. You know, the Big 12, they make their own schedules. But then, like you said, their off season, like their non conference opponent schedules. All right, here you go. Big 12, here you go. Here's some SEC mixed with a little Big 10, and there's a old USC right there in the mix of that too. You know, they ain't no slouch. They're not what they used to be with your boy gone, but
I do not agree with the college playoff committee
picking games.
I do not trust those people like that.
And I can understand why.
They're gonna pick because we're seeing it right now. They're gonna pick the top schools to play each other, which is, it's gonna be cool.
Right.
What happens when someone like a TCU 10 years ago was not that school.
Right.
They had to build their way up.
Right.
The only problem with the way having them pick the games, they're never gonna have a way to get a smaller school like that's never gonna have a way to even play bigger schools.
They make some noise. It's like, hey, they made some noise last year. Why not? Like,
I don't trust the playoff committee to do that. That's the problem. That's why I said not them. Maybe some.
Like
I'd rather let a media poll do something like that than the college playoff committee.
Or just leave it up to the NCAA then. Just like you said, the 12 got their schedule. They just leave it to the NCAA to go ahead and pick the rest of it.
NCAA ends up on really a lot though.
They are the NCAA. They don't call them amateur athletes. They call them what?
Student athletes. How you have a $1 billion business and not even pay the employees?
It's almost like a taxation without representation.
The NCAA is mobsters. We're getting into it. We got a minute and a half to get into this. It's not ridiculous. Nobody sees this as a problem. Like, people speak on it.
Yeah.
But they don't actually do anything because there's not really much you can do because players are going to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because that's how.
Especially in football, they don't have much of a choice. There's no outs. Like basketball, like you said, they can go pro overseas or something like that and come back into the draft.
I'm pushing for the NFL and the NBA. The NBA already has a development league. It's not going to be hard for y'all. Just let them come in the development league. Yeah. NFL needs to get one.
But it's like,
not just like a development league, but just, hey, we got 15 teams or how many ever teams. Don't go to the NCAA.
The only problem like that, they have a free form system with college football.
They'll be making money off this farm system. It's theirs.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, take the way people follow high school players now.
Mm-hmm.
You can make it work.
Right.
If you place these teams in smaller cities. Look at minor league baseball.
Right.
How do these
take them like the Round Rock?
Take them to smaller places where, people in the city can make a trip out there.
Yeah.
And the people out there are always going to show up because, hey, we're watching future players.
So you're saying all 32 teams have their own developmental team and let them kind of play each other?
I was going to say each team have a development team because then you're drafting players too early. I was just going to say just have 15 random teams. And then those players can go into the draft along with college players that chose to go to college.
Right.
And then I'm also suggesting if you're going to do a development style like that, one of the things when you sign on is you are gonna have some type of teaching program in that.
Right.
Maybe not teaching what you learn in college, but how to live life. Like, hey, this is how you handle money.
Right. Because you would then wind up paying them like what? Practice squad players tend to make almost 60 grand.
That's all you gotta pay them. Like, you can come here and get paid or go there and get screwed by the NCAA.
I have no problem.
I mean, that was all just off the top of the head. There's probably
Right.
some holes in that, but
Right. But once again, like, I don't see it as a bad idea though.
NCAA usually getting really though. Somebody else is getting it today though.
Really though. Really though. Really though.
Things in sports that make you say, really though? I'll go first because mine's not. I don't think mine's very good because it's not entirely sports related. The owners of the Michael Jordan Steakhouse, which is not Michael Jordan, by the way. I'm not gonna. No free publicity on the show. I'm not pronouncing this dude's name. Has filed a lawsuit against the city, which is in New York, because their restaurant resides in the New York City area, and due to recent construction projects in a certain area, homeless people that used to be down there have had to move where they go. So instead of being over there, apparently they have found themselves in front of this restaurant where the owners have decided to sue the city because they have suffered 24% profit loss, I believe is what they said. Really though, like, you're gonna sue the city like it's their, like they don't think they have a homeless problem.
Every city knows it has some type of a homeless problem.
If you've been in any downtown I've been into, there is a homeless problem.
Right. No matter where you go, LA, New York, Dallas, Miami, Houston.
I think this is more of them not realizing what they're saying. You're suing the city because there's homeless people in front of your restaurant, but they just came from an area. I'm pretty sure that area had some type of restaurants around them. Mm-hmm. Yet your restaurant's more important because there's Michael Jordan's name on it. Really though? That's what I got out of it.
Yeah.
Or AK, your business is going out of business. You gotta blame it on something.
So just blame it on even though you chose the area. Like, I thought like most business or bar owners tend to like take that into account. The business of the street, how busy the street is, what the area is like.
So I'm saying, this is a business. You can't sue the city because your location has become bad. Now you have to move your business. If your profit was that good before, you know what? All right, this area isn't working out. It's time to move shop.
Right.
But instead of doing that, you're gonna sue the city. Everybody looking for free money nowadays.
That's how it started. Don't nobody want to work for it.
Your turn. You can go.
My really though goes out to Lakers Jordan Clarkson.
Oh.
Yes, I can never let another grown man get away with calling another grown man something like this, you know. R. Kelly was at a Lakers game this week. He drained a three, NBA range three, not like just he drained the exactly. He drained a NBA range 3-point shot, no rim, straight net. So Jordan Clarkson replies, "Hey, R. Kelly is NBA ready. That jumper is wet." Oh, come on, bruh. You can't run around here. You can't run around here calling another grown man wet. Like, that's not.
If it wasn't R. Kelly, would it be that big of a problem? Because wet, like, that is used for people's jump shots. That is
butter, like anything. Yeah. I don't care.
Say water.
Don't call.
I mean,
it being R. Kelly does play a part in it.
Plays a big part.
But it's also like, it's like Seth the Entertainer said, man. I never call another grown man delicious. I'm a grown man, dog. You a grown man, Jordan. Call another man shot wet. What's wrong with you? Really though?
Great show today. Kevin McHale getting fired. Top 5 NBA players right now. NFL QBs changing soon. Thursday night football preview in NCAA and college football. How it could change for the better. And of course, Jordan Clarkson getting really old, along with some random restaurant owner. Tomorrow, weekend preview, pick sixes, NFL and college, right here on the Sports Machine.
Peace out.